Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, and I am back for another channel update and kind of random topic video. I did one of these not terribly long ago, so I didn't think I would be doing another one so quickly, but there are definitely a few things that I would like to touch on. So, um, here we go. So, first off, I want to do a couple of channel updates. And to everyone who has been supporting the channel, whether you came 10 years ago or 10 minutes ago, thank you. Definitely much appreciated. If you are new to the channel, again, if you just discovered it through my game accessibility conference panel last month, excuse me. Um, Thank you for checking out the channel, and I hope you find something helpful or entertaining here. Everything is divided into playlists, so I cover a lot of different types of things, primarily from a low vision slash legally blind perspective. I cover mainstream games playing with low vision, mainstream and audio games, text-based games from for totally blind players, technology reviews, hardware reviews, VR content, a couple Let's Plays here and there, a few geeky things here and there. Just a little bit of everything. Check out the playlist, and you'll find something there. Game accessibility, VR accessibility, playlists on all those types of things. I do one of the recent playlists that I should have drawn attention to more after I created it. If you want to see other official presentations that I have done, whether it's through Game Accessibility Conference, ID24, podcast appearances that I've been on. I've had the opportunity to do a few video podcast interviews in the past 6 months to a year, and I think they've gone really well. I've really enjoyed doing them. And so I do have a playlist, I believe it's called Podcast Presentations and Interviews, I think is what it's officially called. So just go ahead and check that out. They're not all my videos. Some of them are videos that are from this channel, but some of them I've also linked from other sources, like the Game Accessibility Conference, or like Aaron Spelker's interview, or shout out to Vision Forward, or um, Theory of a Blind Man, um, just to name a few. So there you go. That is, just an intro to the channel for people, or an update about the general update for the channel. Just like my late October video, I'm still in the process of recording and getting uploaded a few videos. I still got that Apple Watch review I want to do. I still have the the Steam iOS app video that I want to do, because there's been a major update to that, and I want to show people what does and doesn't work, maybe get some ideas for a couple of workarounds and things. And again, for people who have trouble using the Steam desktop app, you may be able to use, once you get the desktop client installed anyway, you may be able to use the iOS app to remotely install your games and then just access them through File Explorer. So there's that. And then there's just a few games that I want to get around to. I know there's that, I forgot to mention it in the last game, but I do own that, I forget what year the number is, but that Shadows over Silesia type of deal. It's in my Steam library. I just haven't had time to play it. So I'm hoping sometime this month I'll finally be able to sit down and check it out. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of content that I do want to get around to trying and checking out and recording. So we'll get there eventually. But as you've seen on the channel within the last, let's say, 2 weeks or so, I've been doing a lot of videos relating to just the game's accessibility, kind of low vision spotlights usually, but and then the God of War video. Um, I've been doing several videos that where I've received a review code for certain titles, and part of it was so that yes, I could check it out for the Game Accessibility Awards or the Game Awards under the Innovation and Accessibility category. But also, then I could review and share what its accessibility is like on the channel. So, I know I was not paid for these reviews. I did receive a game code for probably 4 or 5 games now recently. And so I wanted to kind of give those priority because I wanted to make sure that I covered some accessible games for the category, and that's why I also want to check out that Shadows of Silesia or whatever. But I wanted to cover those in a timely manner because I was kindly provided the review code for them. However, you will still find my honest opinions on these games. Some of them turned out really quite good and actually surprised me with some of the accessibility features that were included. Some of them definitely left a bit to be desired. Like when I started Gotham Knights, it started out really promising, and then I got into the actual game and I went, maybe not quite so much. So it just depends. But yeah, I mean, I will still give, even if I get a review code for a game, I will still cover it, honestly and give you my honest opinion. I mean, I know I'm not being bought out by the company and I'm just going to praise the game. No, that's not what we're doing here. So you don't have to worry about that. Speaking of God of War, I did my impressions video, and technically we are allowed to do, there's still embargo limitations, but we can do reviews with video content of God of War Ragnarok. And like I said, to be honest with you, I've been really so busy that I haven't gotten a chance to put in as much time as I've wanted since recording that initial video. The past several nights, I have been playing God of War Ragnarok, and overall, I have been enjoying it quite a bit again. And I do plan on doing a video, low vision spotlight for this game. And I would say it's somewhere, just as a little bit of a spoiler, for people who are considering pre-ordering it, or buying the game when it comes out, whether you're totally blind or low vision. What I will say here is that go read. There's been several reviews. Brandon Cole or Super Blind Man on Twitter. Steve Saylor did a pretty good video review. Accessibility Nexus, can I play that? There's been several places that have also done God of War reviews from different perspectives. Brandon Cole, he did a really good write up, especially for somebody who is totally blind. I'm looking at it for totally blind players, but I'm also looking at covering it from low vision. So it's kind of a both. Like I know how to review things for a blind user because I've played games under the blindfold. I use screen readers. Um, I can put myself in that place. I've played many audio games, so I get it. But I can also, like I said, tell you guys about some low vision stuff. What I would say is overall, the game is quite accessible. It's actually really, really good. It does some things that The Last of Us 2 doesn't even do. But on the flip side, there are a few issues that I really hope, even if they do it after launch, I really hope that they can add and fix. The two primary issues that I have with it is that the in-game menus, your pause menus like your skill trees, your map, your quest, those types of things do not read with a screen reader. There are a few ways to get around those, which are kind of neat, especially if you are on a PlayStation 5. If you're on a PlayStation 4, you don't have one of these little workarounds, especially for the quests that you go on. But um, there are workarounds for it. Again, check out Brandon's review because I think he did a really good job with that. Um, and I will be covering the game, and I will be saying this again. Like I said, hopefully, I wanted to have it done by Saturday, but I don't know. We'll see. If I don't get it done Saturday, it's got to be sometime in the next week. I have to cover this game because it is really good. I'm really loving it so far. The other issue that I would say that a lot of people, even me with low vision, is having a little bit of trouble with. Some of the puzzles, I'm just not. There's like when I shut off the game last night, I'm at a puzzle where I see things that I'm supposed to interact with, and I'm not quite sure what I have to do because there's a lot of puzzles in the game where you have like, a certain number of interactable items in the environment, and you usually will have to do something in a certain sequence, like, oh, there's a gate that I have to do, but there's something blocking the gate, but in order to unblock the gate, I have to blow something else up. But in order to blow that up, I have to remove this barrier from over here, or just whatever. Like a lot of environmental type of things that use Kratos's powers or abilities. So I'm sure I'll get through it. But especially if you are totally blind, like I think some of the puzzles can be a little bit. There's not quite enough guidance there, and even if you're low vision, I'm like it'll guide you to like roughly where you're supposed to be, but then like I really have no idea. There's even been a puzzle or two where I felt that I've kind of lucked my way through it. I'm like, oh, I think maybe if I do this, and I kind of just got it by sheer luck or brute force. So there are a few issues here and there, and I do have faith that I think that they're going to continue to support it, hopefully after launch. Like I said, I will do another video on it, but I just haven't had time yet. Um, so for people that are looking for God of War, it is definitely playable by blind players, but you are going to have to work for it. You are going to, again, when we talk about blind accessible games that are developed specifically for blind players, audio games or, non-mainstream games, a lot of them are, not that it's a bad thing, but a lot of them are a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more simplistic in their mechanics. Some aren't. I mean, like Swamp is actually pretty complicated in a way, a lot of buttons and such. But God of War, even The Last of Us, like, you run around, you shoot, you have a little bit of stealth, but like there's you use every button on this controller for God of War. And not only do you use every button, you will use damn near every button combination. It's like hold this button and tap that button, or double tap that button and then hit this button, or it's pretty crazy. And you got to remember what all this stuff does. So you're with these types of games, you're going to start to see like one thing that I'm really kind of looking forward to, and I'm really sort of curious to see people's blind players' reactions is as you get access to things like The Last of Us, um, Stardew Valley, God of War, Forza, all these like mainstream games. As you start getting to play them, you're kind of going to start to see what I've been, I and some other players have been talking about over the past several years, where like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of more complexity and a lot more to, in a way, there's a lot more substance to a lot of these mainstream games. And you do have to, like I said, you got to work for it. Now, some of this extra work shouldn't necessarily have to be there. Some of the extra work that you have to put in to play God of War is due to accessibility barriers still. But I still have to give the developers credit because it is their first time really that for that particular developer, it's their first time really diving deeply into creating an experience that is focused on accessibility from its core. And yeah, I mean, I'm even sort of kind of baffled with why the menus speak, but then like the in-game, the menus or like the skill trees and stuff don't. Um, but I'm sure there's some underlying technical reason that they're still trying to work out. Otherwise, it probably would, because if you see the number of accessibility features and just the way they've designed the game, it's clear that they did put a lot of effort. They consulted with disabled players, and even when they started, I think The Last of Us 2 was like already quite a ways, or they were already into development quite a bit when they saw what The Last of Us 2 could do. So, give them another game or give them, post-launch, maybe they'll be able to add more. But I will talk more about God of War in another video, but that is why I haven't gotten around to covering that game yet. I am still working on other projects, which I'll talk about in a second. One other channel thing that I wanted to mention, I've had a few people comment on Twitter, and I've had a few YouTube comments on some videos. And people do ask, would you do more full Let's Plays instead of just spotlight videos? And I might do a couple Let's Plays here and there, but really, I'm going to be honest and say that is not primarily the focus of my channel. There's a lot of people who either stream on Twitch or YouTube or do Let's Plays series on YouTube in video. But that isn't my focus. Like I said, if something is short enough or if it's something, that I'm really, really into, I might do a Let's Play here and there. Like, I'm not opposed to it. But like I said, I am quite busy. I have a lot of things going on. I have a full-time day job. And the last couple of years especially, I've really started getting involved in a lot of other projects. XR Access, working with Microsoft in their low vision advisory board, doing podcasts and speaking and, things like that for other people on accessibility. Actual consulting with app and game developers, maybe it's a mobile app or maybe a game, or, it could be a mobile game, could be a console or a PC game. Consulting with them on accessibility, doing play tests, other things that I can't necessarily talk about due to NDA. I am quite busy, so I don't have, especially if I want to get them out regularly or I want to do a good job with them, I don't necessarily have a super ton of time to do a whole bunch of Let's Plays. But that's one reason. But the other main reason that I've chosen not to do a ton of Let's Plays is because I like the spotlight style of video. I've said that I was really inspired by the Giant Bomb Quick Look. They're one of the first websites or first video series that I really remember, liking, that wasn't the canned written review where I wrote a script and then I am going to tell you about the graphics on level 7 and the sound effects are good. The enemies are, whatever. I liked the way that Giant Bomb showed their quick looks, and they started a game at some point in the game. They played it for a while, and they showed you what worked, what didn't work, what they liked and didn't like. If it ran great, it ran great. If it crashed, it crashed. I've had that happen a few times. But more importantly, especially when it comes to blind accessible games, be it audio games, text-based games, voiceover accessible games, I want, we people complain that we don't have all that many accessible titles, and you're right. You're totally right. So the ones that we do have, and if I hear about them and I'm able to cover them, I will try to do so. And I want to like show people that, hey, this game is voiceover accessible, or this game is an audio game that you can play on Steam or Xbox or whatever, or PlayStation. Um, and I want to show that. I want to show the accessibility features. I'll show you a little bit of gameplay so you can hear what it sounds like and whatnot. But I want to encourage people to go out and buy the games for themselves and experience them for themselves. Because hey, we're talking about video games. We're not talking about movies. I mean, yes, sometimes it's fun to kick back and watch other people play games. I get it. I watch people on Twitch. I watch YouTube a lot. But at the same time, if it's something that I can play, especially if I'm a blind player, I would want to play that game too. And I should play that game if I can. Um, because again, there's been so many companies in the past, or solo developers even, who have, you know, come to this market with good ideas and good intentions, but they just can't sustain themselves. They make a game or two and they get a few sales here and there, but they just, it's just not near enough for them to really keep going. Because your mainstream audience just does not seem receptive to playing something that is only audio. They need their pretty pictures, man. They need their 4,893K, and they need their, shiny, sparkly objects. You take away any sort of visuals and they just freak out. So, I want to encourage people. I want to show them the game. I want to show people that it's out there. And then I want to encourage people, hey, if you liked what you saw, support the developers, buy the game, play the game for yourself, and enjoy it, because games are meant to be played. That is why I don't focus on Let's Plays. Part of it is a time thing. Part of it is I want to encourage people, since these are interactive, this is an since this is an interactive medium, I want to encourage people to go play the games for themselves. So I hope that answers people's questions. Like I said, I've been asked that a few different times over the past several months. So I wanted to kind of throw that out there and give my official explanation as to why I focus on accessible game spotlights, low vision spotlights. That is why that is my focus. So, and I definitely appreciate you reaching out and asking the question. No harm in that, but that is the spiel. Couple other topics I want to talk about, and I'm not sure which one because both are, I don't want to say a downer. Well, one is really unfortunate. But let's start with that one because I want to end on at least something potentially a little better. Literally like 10-15 minutes before recording this video, and partially why I decided to do this video, is we unfortunately got an official announcement today from a individual on Twitter, Guy Dev. Huge, huge shout out and mad respect to Guy Dev. He is the guy who created Hearthstone Access. I did a stream. I did a Twitch stream of Hearthstone Access a fair bit ago. And I'm not typically into card games like that. I mean, largely because I couldn't see well enough to play them. They were just too tedious and cumbersome to try to play. And what Guy Dev did with Hearthstone Access was phenomenal. This is a highly graphical game. It's really it's got excellent sound, but it's really visual. There's effects and all kinds of stuff going on. Not only did he make the game playable, but even like he made a custom tutorial for blind slash screen reader users so that he could make that all the mechanics make sense for blind players. So the tutorial was done like exceptionally well. Um, but the bad news is he posted an announcement today saying that he's got one more update coming out, and then just due to like you'll have to read his post that he linked to, but um, unfortunately, after this update that is coming out here, he is stopping Hearthstone Access development. He's just unable to do it anymore. He's like gotten really busy, and just things have gotten a lot more have gotten a lot harder, a lot more complicated. Like I said, he's busy with other things. And as often as Blizzard updates Hearthstone and breaks everything, they got, I guess, a new expansion coming out later this month or early December. I forget when, but it's going to significantly probably change the game again, and things are going to break again. This is why bolting on add-ons, like I said, it's just not the same as natively making it work. But like I said, I cannot take anything away from Guide Dev because, like I said, what he did, not only to make the game accessible, but actually fun and easy to play, was really great. Um, so if you are a Hearthstone player and you are blind, and you relied on Hearthstone Access to play the game, maybe don't invest in the upcoming in expansions and whatnot because you're probably not going to be able to play them, unfortunately. And for the love of God, don't harass Guide Dev on Twitter or social media. It's not his fault. I totally understand and respect where he's coming from. I replied to his post and said as much. Um, he did what he could. And, when he could do it, he did a damn good job. It is really sad to see a mod go away like that. Like I said, I played it for a while and I intended to get back to it. I wanted to, but to really continue to play that game, you really got to just devote regular time to it. And I just didn't have time to, devote a lot of ongoing time to playing that game, which is unfortunate because now I really won't be able to as much. I really won't because yes, I could magnify or whatever, and it would still be clunky, but the text to speech for all the cards and the text and whatever was what made it actually fun for me, what made it actually playable for me. So, um, yes, Hearthstone access is it's going to be a thing probably for a couple more weeks. But then, unfortunately, blind players are probably not going to have access unless Blizzard themselves takes it upon themselves, which I really, really hope they would. But God only knows. Um, if they were to take Hearthstone Access's code and maybe get it from Guide Dev or something and add it natively to the game and keep it um, in internal ongoing development, that would be the best outcome. Are they going to do that? I don't know, but part of me says don't hold your breath. Yeah, okay, it's great that they're doing audio described trailers and anything, but it doesn't really do a lot of good if you can't play the game. Yeah, let's have an audio described trailer for a game that I'll never be able to play. Yay! Um, I know that was a little, snarky there, but you know, it is what it is. But yes, Hearthstone Access sadly is going away. Um, but again, huge shout out to Guy Dev because the work that he has done, and not only that he added and updated, or he made and he updated the mod, but every time, literally every time that Hearthstone came up with an update, it broke Hearthstone Access, and so he would have to update Hearthstone Access to fix it again. They'd break it, he'd fix it again. And this happened every few weeks. So the fact that he was able to do it as long as he did, kudos, sir, because I don't know if I would have had the patience to do that. Um, so yeah, huge shout out to them. I know this is going to be a huge disappointment for a lot of blind players because it was a really, really popular mainstream game, multiplayer game nonetheless, that blind people could play. So we'll see what happens with that going forward. I know a lot of people in Guide Dev's replies, were calling out Blizzard and calling out people on Twitter to be like, "Hey, can you really invest in this?" And that's fine, but don't be a dick about it. Don't be mean about it, but like, hey, yeah, call them out and say, yeah, can you take this on natively? Because he obviously proved it's possible and it's already working. If you guys would just adopt it internally, it could happen. So, Hearthstone Access, ladies and gentlemen. Another accessibility project bites the dust, unfortunately. Speaking of mods, there's one other update. And this is another video that I really want to get around to doing too, at least showing showing off the new levels. Um, my good friend, Mr. Alan D1, is at it again. He's made more accessible Doom levels for the Toby accessibility mod. There were 2 level packs based on Doom 2. And on Halloween, nonetheless, he released the Toby Deluxe Map Pack 2. And I tweeted it on Halloween. These are just the way he did the Deluxe Map Pack for all the levels based on Doom 1. The Deluxe Map Pack is both of the Doom 2 level packs built into one. So now you can get 20 more levels of accessible Doom maps and play them with the Toby accessibility mod. Now, thinking about Hearthstone and the mod going away and everything, the one good thing I will say about Doom is that I don't think the original Doom is going to be updated and hopefully, and it totally won't break the Toby accessibility mod anytime soon because um, Doom and Doom 2 were made in 1993 and 1994, respectively. So I don't think they're going to come out with new official content for a 30-year-old game. I think we're fairly safe. So I don't think Doom is going to break itself, hopefully. But you got GZ Doom and everything that is still widely supported. So hopefully we'll be able to have access to these Doom mods and level packs for quite a while. So again, a huge shout out to Mr. Alan D1. Again, I feel bad because I'm such a Doom fan and I've covered all of his stuff, really in a timely fashion. But again, I even told him via email or even his YouTube comments, I'm like, I'm sorry, I haven't gotten around to covering your levels yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. And so again, sometime in the next couple of weeks, I want to look at those too. Um, my final topic, I think this will be my final topic. I do want to talk about a little bit about the whole Twitter hubbub. For those in the dark, for those who haven't been paying attention or don't know, the crazy person Elon Musk has officially bought Twitter as of, a week and a half ago now? And it has kind of been a roller coaster ride shit show. Would be one way to put it. He's come in, he's made a lot of just sweeping decisions, he's fired a lot of people, which sucks. Um, there's a whole kind of a controversy now with the verified accounts. I don't have a verified account. I never have. I never really looked into it. I never cared enough to. The idea behind the Twitter verified account is a decent one, at least originally. The idea was that if you were, let's say, a celebrity or an official brand, or you had some sort of like official representation, like, this is the official Twitter account of Microsoft, or this is the official Twitter account for, I don't know, um, for like a famous actor or something. That way, you're not, because people can make name their account whatever they want. And so there'll be a lot of spoof accounts, a lot of, parody accounts, or a lot of just malicious accounts pretending to be somebody else. So the idea behind the verified account in the beginning was a good one. Give me a second, I got to get a drink here. There we go. So it was a good one. And even, let's say, myself, if I wanted to request a verified account for illegally cited to say, hey, this is the illegally cited brand. I have my website, I have my YouTube channel, I have my Twitch stream, and I want to say this is the illegally cited Twitter account. That's what I would use it for. But when Elon Musk took over, it seems like what he's trying to do is he wants to basically just make these verified accounts, you have to pay a monthly fee now to become a verified member. Originally, it was $20 a month, which seems stupidly high. Maybe not for a corporation or something, but like for, a totally legit individual who has like a really well-known brand. $20 is a lot of money, especially on everything else the way it is and being expensive. Then it was dropped down to $8, and there was something about, he said like, hey, I want you to implement this to that dev team, and they're like, if you don't implement it by, what is it, like next Monday, they're fired, which is a total dick move. And because like there's been other things, there's so much going on. Other websites, and like I've barely started it, but the Verge on their the Vergecast podcast did a episode yesterday on this whole Twitter mess, and I'm sure I don't even know all of what's going on. But like I said, he's laid off certain teams already or developers. I don't know, but there's a lot of shakeup going on in Twitter, and a lot of people are leaving Twitter. I don't know necessarily where they're going. I know people are using Discord more. I know that people are using this Mastodon thing. I don't know anything about Mastodon really. I've never bothered to look into it. I really haven't cared. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I already got rid of my Facebook account. Am I going to get rid of Twitter? No, at least not in the foreseeable future. I mean, part of me is like, yeah, if he's treating some of the employees like crap, like I understand, if you take over a company and like they need to make money, Twitter hasn't made money like, I don't know, forever. I don't know if it has made money. There's a lot of people using it, but like, based on just ad revenue alone, I don't know if it has ever made money. And he wants it to make money. Like, I get when you're taking over a company, you do some restructuring or whatever, but the way he just like is going through is so fast and gutting everything. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to wait and see how things settle. But the thing is, the way that Twitter works and the way that I use Twitter and the people that I've met on Twitter, the opportunities that I have gotten from Twitter alone, that is the one social media source where I'm quite active on it because, it's been very helpful. It's been very useful for me. I've been using, I don't remember when I got my Twitter account, but it's been several years now. And, the more I've done with the channel, the more I've started doing streams, the more now that I'm doing consulting work. Like people reach out to me, developers actually have reached out to me via Twitter. Individuals have reached out to me like for an interview or a consulting gig or, for a podcast or something. People have like I haven't found them. They've reached out to me um for some opportunities. I've reached out to other developers too though. Like I've literally reached out to some developers and asked about accessibility or asked them a question. And a lot of them have actually responded. So it's been very helpful for me. Believe it or not, through streaming. Well, it was Mixer back then, but a combination of Mixer and Twitch, or between a combination of Mixer and Twitter, I should say, and my YouTube channel. Hell, I found a girlfriend a few years ago. Sucks it didn't work out, but that's something I never thought I would say or would happen. Um, I've met many people in the accessibility field, whether it's consultants, advocates, professionals, companies, other content creators. And Twitter seems to be the place where a lot of accessibility, the accessibility community, has kind of congregated. Because the problem with Discord's great, but you're all in your own little siloed things. Like join my Discord, join my Discord. Everyone has their own thing. It's not a central repository. What's great about Twitter is you can literally follow somebody directly. You can if they don't, you can sometimes you can send them a direct message and communicate with them with a one-to-one chat or even a group chat. Or you can, if they don't accept DMs, you can mention them in a post and still ask them a question or leave them a comment and they may respond to you. You can, you can follow people, people can follow you. And you can literally go to the Explore tab, like if you're using the mobile app or whatever, you can just say, I want to look for this word or this phrase or this hashtag. And you can bring up, like I remember reading a post from Ian Hamilton the other day. He's like, I don't use Twitter the way most people do. I use it where I don't follow and have I know a lot of people follow me, but I don't follow a lot of people. Instead, he uses it to look for conversations about certain topics. Like, oh, I want to look up something on, oh, maybe something is trending with Hearthstone now, or God of War, or GA or whatever random thing he might have heard about or is interested in learning more about or whatever. So the fact that you can just like look up like hashtags and stuff and everything is so decentralized actually works really well. So I hope that doesn't change. Um, I've met so many great people. Um, like I said, I so wish things would have worked out with Riley, but unfortunately they didn't. Um, but hey, I don't regret it. It was worth a shot. Um, but like the number of things that I have done in the last 4 or 5 years. I've spoke at 2 game accessibility conferences. I've spoke at ID24. I've gotten several podcast interviews, um, written interviews, like the A11Y, the VR article that came out recently about VR accessibility. again, the amount of developers that I've directly reached out to, big and small. Like there's been one-man teams who have been working on a mobile app or working on a game. Um, VR content, XR Access. I think I found out about them through I found them through another virtual conference right when the pandemic started. It was like May or June of 2020, and I think I found out about the conference through Twitter. And then I went to that conference and there was a session with, wait, what is this XR Access business? And then I'm like, oh, I got to join this. Like I said, there's just so many things that right now, anyway, I can't imagine giving up Twitter because it's been such a hugely useful tool for me. The way that I use it kind of professionally for my side gig. That's largely, in a way, how I'm communicating with a lot of people. So whatever happens, I don't know if it is going to go to complete crap. Um, and again, as far as all the drama goes, people arguing and, all the hate that seems to be going around that people always talk about, I don't get much of that in my feed, and it's because I don't engage in it. I don't care if it's Facebook, Twitter, email, real life. I don't really put up with that nonsense. I was joking with a coworker a few years ago. I said, I graduated high school 20 years ago. I don't need all the dumb high school drama. So I don't care if it's in person or electronically, digitally, whatever. I just don't engage with it. Um, if I think some conversation's gonna basically result in some flame war or some, stupidity, I just kind of back away and say, well, you can fight it out for yourself. I mean but that being said, like I will chime in if like there was a conversation fairly recently where it was I think it was like a mainstream developer was kind of complaining and making fun of like they saw a guide dog in the in the world in real life, and they're like, I wanted to pet it and they got mad at me. Well, that's really stupid. And you know I wasn't mean about it, but I said, hey, there actually is a reason for that, and here's why. So I called them out on it, but I wasn't mean about it. I wasn't a prick about it. But I said, no, like this isn't something to be made fun of. And there is a reason that you don't want to disturb a working dog because it can put the dog and the owner at risk, because they are making sure the blind person is safe when they're traveling. So don't do that. So yeah, I mean the whole Twitter hubbub, I'm not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. I'm gonna watch and see how things go, see where things land. But like I said, there's just been such a huge community. The people that I surround myself with have all been generally really good. Um, and Twitter has been such a useful tool for me. I mean, if they would, you know, the paying for the verified thing is really kind of stupid. Because then if you have somebody that's, oh, I just want to pretend to be this person and I have enough money to throw at it, I can just buy my way into it. That's dumb. What I would pay for though is if you could just pay, let's say, $2-3 a month even. And the last month or two, I am barraged with ads everywhere on my timeline. Even when I go into replies now, like if I go into a Twitter thread, once you would go into a Twitter thread before, like it was just a conversation. Now there's like even some of the replies are automated. They're automated ads that show up in your Twitter feed now. And that's obnoxious. So like I would, as much as I use Twitter, I would pay a couple dollars a month just to have an ad-free experience. That would be really nice. get some ads out of my timeline, my feed. But who knows? Um, and I haven't tried to message him just to see, but apparently, just shout out to Blind Ryan or Ryan Maxwell Duncan again. Apparently I saw that he has officially left Twitter in addition to Twitch. I've conversed with him a fair bit, off and on, and Twitter is again where we've really had most of our conversations. So yeah, that's kind of weird, but I don't know. Like I said, I mean, you can still be on a media and avoid the drama. Like if I wouldn't have had to have gotten rid of my Facebook account, I just chose to because I just wasn't a fan of Facebook in general, and none of the content was doing it for me anyway, so I never engaged with it, good, bad, or otherwise. I just didn't care. But Twitter, the way I use it is really useful, so I'm gonna try to keep it around for a while. So I mean, I don't even know where I would go if I were to jump ship, but like I said, I'm not going anywhere. My timeline seems pretty normal. I mean, yeah, people are talking about the whole Twitter fiasco on occasion, but my timeline is technology and accessibility and first person shooters and funny quotes and dad jokes and cat pictures and all kinds of fun stuff. So, you know what? It's all good. Like it for me, I don't know, Twitter's great. I just hope that they don't run it into the ground, and I certainly hope that they don't axe their accessibility team because Twitter has gotten pretty good. It's gotten pretty accessible. Like I use it with my phone and voiceover all the time, daily. So they've done the whole alt text for images thing. They finally got all that situated recently. So they're doing stuff with accessibility, and I hope if he's redoing or rearranging things in the company, just don't get rid of the accessibility team because they know what they're doing. I know people give them a hard time sometimes, but at least they're trying. So don't get rid of them. That is really the main topics that I wanted to talk about. I know it's kind of ending on a downer with Hearthstone and the whole Twitter fiasco. I guess to wrap up really quickly, kind of tying it into Twitter, kind of tying it into all my recent work and everything. What I will end with, because I don't know if I'll do another November stream, I don't know what all is going to happen. You do have the Game Awards early next month, so we can see what actually wins um, the accessibility category, not to mention everything else or the world premieres and announcements. But I don't know if I'll do another stream or another update video this month in November, but tied into Thanksgiving or whatnot, there's a lot I really have to be thankful for right now. So far I've survived and not gotten COVID. Um, things are going really well at work. Just all of within the last like 2 months, late August, early September, I've just had loads of really cool opportunities doing reviews, being asked to be part of the Game Awards, consulting gigs, interviews, other stuff that I probably can't even remember, speaking engagements, Game Accessibility Conference, panel. Um, it's been going really well. And like I said, I love my day job. I love what we're trying to do for my day job because I think it is very, very important to get people who are blind or low vision or deaf blind to be productive members of society and to work and support their families so they don't have to worry about having no money and having to just live off the government, whatever. Like that's hugely important to me. Um But outside of that, like, all this game accessibility, app accessibility, all this technology and game accessibility, VR, I love doing that stuff too. And there's so much happening in the game accessibility area right now. Indie developers, AAA developers, console manufacturers. Sadly, not much in VR, at least nothing that is publicly available anyway. I know there's been work happening in the labs, the research labs, but none of that has really come to the public so that, you and I can make use of it. So, but all that said, I mean, I'm really glad like I said, I'm really glad where things are right now. Like I said, I wish things would have worked out better. Um, you know, I'm a bachelor again, but wish that would have worked out better. But other than that, I mean, other than that, I really couldn't be happier where things are. Like I said, I'm having a blast doing this accessibility stuff, doing the videos, doing the consulting, just seeing these games come out that are blind accessible or even low vision accessible better. Seeing Windows updates come out that have some cool, like, Windows magnifier feature or low vision feature that we basically helped get off the ground, and now everybody can use it and they don't have to pay several $100s to use that feature anymore. That's great. I love it. So that is where we're going to end the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm debating whether this will be a bonus video or if it'll just go up on Saturday, since I'm recording this on Friday afternoon anyway. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, huge shout out to Guide Dev for Hearthstone Access. Real bummer that it's going away, but hey man, you did what you could and you did an excellent job. Lots of content coming to the channel. Now that things are slowing down a little bit, hopefully I will have more of a chance to get through my backlog and do these things I've been meaning to do forever. So stay tuned. Not sure what I'm going to do with streams yet. Still waiting to hear. I'm still waiting to hear what the reviews are going to be like for the 4080, so I can see what I want to do with this whole computer update nonsense. We'll see, but thanks to everybody again for the support. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, twitch.tv/illegally-cited, illegally-cited.com, and right here on YouTube. So until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.